Joining me now is Mrs. Trishay Yata Burton, a FAMU graduate of psychology and social work, but also a supporter of breastfeeding. She created the group Melanin Mothers. Welcome, Trishay.
Thank you.
So, breastfeeding. It's Women's History Month. We're talking about the importance of breastfeeding, how women uniquely can give birth and can breastfeed their babies. I know you are a recent mother. Yes.
Yes.
And you breastfeed.
Yes.
And you have been breastfeeding for how long?
17 months.
Okay. And what's your thoughts about that?
It takes a warrior to want to do what I do, and I know plenty of them. So I'm thankful that I come from one, and I appreciate everything that I get from the knowledge. So I'm thankful for breastfeeding. Breastfeeding for me is very spiritual, very sacred, and it's not anything that you joke around with. You're either going to do it or you're not, and if you're not, then you need to find out why you're not, and not just say no because your mama didn't. So yeah, it's definitely something that you definitely want to dive into directly, and you don't want to joke around with it.
So the group Melanin Mothers that you created last year in 2016, correct?
Correct. Melanin Mothers Meet.
Melanin Mothers Meet,
Yes.
and the purpose of Melanin Mothers Meet is what?
The purpose of Melanin Mothers Meet is to bridge the gap of melanin mothers across the globe. So not just here in Tallahassee community, not in just California, not in Georgia, but in Africa, in Asia, and
Across the
whatever
world.
continents that we can, run our fingers through. Those are the ones we want to get to.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's to support mothers in what way?
We want to support mothers naturally. We want to bring them back to the basics, as Mama Seta would say. And we want to make sure that they are clear with why they're coming back to the basics, because what we're going through now currently is nothing basic.
So tell me about what your breastfeeding experience has been like. Is that what prompted you to start Melanin Mothers, or?
So breastfeeding alone did not prompt me to start Melanin Mothers Meet. What prompted me alone to start Melanin Mothers Meet was the birth of my child. My child's birth was very peaceful. It was very wanting, and if I could do it all over again, I would, because it was natural feeling. There was no pain. There was nothing hard about it. It was very blessed.
And you did a natural birth at your home?
Yes, I did a natural birth at home. My mother was present. My mother actually assisted with delivering my daughter, and as well as my doula, Akila McQueen, and she was phenomenal. Phenomenal
And for
doula.
our audience that doesn't know what a doula is, tell us what that is.
So, in my own words, and this might not be by book,
that's fine. That's what we
but,
want, is your words.
My own words are very specific. A doula is a doer. That's the person that's going to come in and give you that prenatal care that the doctor or even midwife might not be able to give you. They're going to give you that emotional support. They're going to be that system of collectives in one person that you need to really understand why you're going through what you're going through, and when, and what you need to do in order to, balance it out, or, soothe yourself, whatever that you need to do. So they provide you that as well. On top of that, they also are like, many social workers. So if you need some information, then they know the source to get it to, then they connect you. And so that's pretty much what Melanin Mothers Meet is. Melanin Mothers Meet is like a huge social working network where we're putting out different resources to different women that need it, that might not have that available to them just in their regular community, the community that society gives us and says that we have. But our community is much greater and much better than what society gives us, separately. And so I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful to be able to put women together that are, available first, because they don't have to be available. They don't have to do this. They don't have to want to have this drive with Melanin Mothers Meet and actually bring forth their desired needs for their children and for the upward mobility of their children. And our children need that upward mobility. They need that strength. They need that push from our community, because if they don't have it, then they will not be productive.
Okay. So Melanin Mothers Meet recently had a breastfeeding forum.
Yes.
And there were several midwives and doulas and social workers that were present that shared their knowledge and experience with the audience. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Oh, man. You see, I just have to breathe out, because It was truly that powerful. It's something that I've always wanted to see come forth in our community, especially just about things that are natural and feminine and things that are women. You know what I mean? And we don't really have enough women femininity around, you know, and femininity get things going. You know, we're water, we get everything flowing. We need that energy, you know, on land. And a lot of people don't really know how to balance those two out. So what happens is we tend to, you know, stray away from things that are really important to us and for us, that are that comes from us. You know, we stay away from us is something that I always say. We won't flock toward each other. You know, we flock away from each other.
So this meeting was an opportunity for women to come together.
Exactly. Women to come together and women to be able to sit and be comfortable with one another and to really hash out and receive things that they've not received before. So things that have to do with why formula was even created. Why are you even selling us formula? What is your reasoning on selling us formula? Because it's not to nurture our children. It's not to give them that nutritional value that they need. So what else is it that you're trying to do? So, you know, I grew up with a mother that's very black and white. So it's either A or B. You know what I mean? So you're either here to help us live or you're here to help us die. It's pretty much how it goes.
So did you all discover why that has been removed or breastfeeding has been substituted for formula in your discussion?
Yes. So, you know, what I learned from the women that were on the panelists, and they were amazing, it was like having a whole university plus more in one building for 2 hours for free. You know what I mean?
That sounds interesting.
It's very interesting. So, you know, you have all these ways to pull different knowledge from people's different experience. Not only do they have the degrees and the accolades and the, you know, everything behind their name, they have a lot behind their name.
But experience
But the experience matches.
Rich. Yeah.
So you have experience and academic knowledge in one building under one roof at the same time.
Right.
For free.
That's huge.
You know, so and for it to be as powerful as it was, you know, I know some things now that I would do differently, you know, market it a little better. But just for the knowledge that was there, it was worth, you know, from the knowledge, the marketing that was done, it was worth more than what it was given.
Did you find out that there is more support out there for women that want to breastfeed their youth than you anticipated?
No, not than I anticipated. I pretty much was thankful that it was what it is. So I appreciate that.
Sister Yata, tell me about some of the events that Melanin Mothers Meets has coming up on their calendar.
So we have a photo shoot coming up, and the photo shoot is for marketing purposes, and I'm just very thankful that I'm doing what's in my divine timeline. And so what happens is I say I want to do something and people appear. And it happens just like that.
And who's going to be in the photo shoot?
So I'm going to have a grandmother, I'm going to have 2 mothers that are pregnant, I'm going to have 2 mothers that are breastfeeding small children, and I want them to be able to come together in a circle of love, wearing all white and different colors, fabrics, and just really make it pop in the sense of making something in you bulge up, making something in you bring fire, bring forth that, you know, provoking that thought that gives you different from what you thought before.
So intergenerational womanhood.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, anything else you all have coming up?
So we also have a meeting coming up, and the meeting is pretty much going to feature Mama Seta and Miss Daikebra, and they're going to speak on their knowledge and just kind of go even further further into what they were talking about at the panel discussion.
Okay, so more on breastfeeding.
Yeah, so more on breastfeeding.
And holistic child care.
Holistic child care. They're also going to talk about beyond the mother. You know, what do you have to do beyond being a mother, beyond breastfeeding, beyond things that you normally are, you know, set forth to do when you have a child. But because it's being a woman is way more than just having children and feeding and making sure that they are together, because you have to make sure that you're together. And if you don't make sure that you're together, then the children can't be together. So then it's a big mess, and you don't want a big mess.
No, you don't.
Especially with children.
So care for the mother as well.
Yes,
That's important.
Yes, exactly. And I'll have more meetings like that. Right now, I'm looking more so for once a month, just because I want to give the panelists a kind of, you know, one-on-one with, you know, more people in the community at an individual level, because it's very sacred and it's very needed and necessary for the community. I'm going to give them keep giving them chances to get these knowledgeable women in their ear and hear what they have to say.
Well, you are a dynamic woman in and of yourself. So I want to thank you, Sister Yata, for joining us today for Conversations with Nicole. Keep doing what you're doing in the community and celebrating our melanin mothers and their melanin children, and just helping, supporting. We need all the support we can get.